Hello, today I want to present our paper, Determination of After-Aggressive Behavior using Machine Learning Methods. Our goal is to explore using machine learning to detect self-harming behavior in text, focusing on Twitter data. It examines different signs of self-harm using the suicide ideation on Twitter dataset, identify the most important ones. Logistic regressions and random forest methods are applied for classification and showing promising results. This slide shows that the number of suicide cases is increased, not only in the United States of America, but in Ukraine also. You can see the situation is in different regions in Ukraine. But some of this number is decreased, some of them increase, but in totally suicide cases increased. The study of after-aggressive behavior and its impact on the psyche of an individual is becoming an increasingly common problem in the modern world, especially after coronavirus time, and requires a comprehensive approach for its understanding and solution. The increasing incidence of self-aggressive behavior, especially among young people and people with mental disorders, highlight the needs for future research in this area. Methods of studying after-aggressive behavior can include several approaches, such as clinical observation, psychological testing, questionnaires, and analysis of text and language, which allows obtain various data and determine factors that influence the accuracy of after-aggression. In our work, we use dataset from the Twitter. This dataset consists of more than 80,000 tweets, of which 1,000 are marked as active suicide thoughts, 5,000 as passive suicide thoughts, 5,000 with sarcasm, and 5,000 tweets related to suicide, and 60,000 tweets not related to after-aggressive behavior. The dataset consists of 5 classes: active suicide thoughts, passive, sarcasm, suicide-related, and each class was randomized and then divided into 3 parts: 70% for the training set, 50% for the validation, and 15% for the test set. On the slide, you can see the result of a particular analysis of text containing after-aggression. This diagram shows that people with after-aggression ascension are characterized by the use of a smaller number of prepositions and a large number of pronouns, with a high index of logical connection, which is achieved due to the use of a large number of conjunctions and dialectic particles. It was also noted that compared to the group of norms, there are more verbs in the speech of suicide, among which a significant part is made up of non-factual ones. Another feature is the large number of adjectives, to use of which is twice as high in the group with after-aggressive ascension. Such a tendency is connected with the desire to verbalize mental experiences and emotions experienced by people of the social group. During the study, a sentiment analysis of this dataset use was carried out, where for each text the emotion coloring was determined in accordance with the following categories: neutral, positive, and negative. One part of the dataset, a classifier, was trained using semi-supervised learning to determine membership in a certain emotion category. After classification, the proportion of each text of the presented sentiment types in the dataset was calculated, and you can see on this image the result of this classification. It can be noted that the proportion of texts written by people with after-aggressive ascension and having a negative emotion connotation is 6 times higher than the proportion of the same text, but already written by the people in the norm. After the analysis, a selection of characteristics was made that will be used for software implementation of diagnostic models. During the selection of characteristics, it was taken into account that not all linguistic features that indicate that a person belongs to an autoaggressive type can be analyzed by computer methods and included in the diagnostic model. Therefore, the main part of the selected feature are formal. Though the following formal and informal characteristics were selected for software implementation, describing the ideal style of the generalized linguistic personality of the social group being studied. So on this slide, you can see the main features for our model. So the first group is morphological parameters. It's a frequency of various types of speech, the ratio of different parts of speech, such as the Flash-Skinner readability index. The second group is lexical parameters, degree of lexical diversity, the text tone, the quantitative assessment of the frequency of occurrence of words such as DF-IDF, and the syntactic parameters, average length of sentences. On the next slide, you can see the parameters arranged in increasing order of the degree of correlation with the target variable. Note that one parameter, the frequency with which nouns occur, was excluded from the characteristics that were used to build diagnostic models due to the correlation coefficients being too low. Those the most informative in the context of determining a person's propensity for autoaggressive behavior are such parameters as the quantitative assessment of the frequency of a word in the context, lexical diversity, and text tone. Such results may indicate the key role of the lexical level in determining the personality type from the text. The choice of words, their frequency and compatibility, all this reflects the individual style and character of the author, and can also indicate his personality traits, mental processes, and emotion states. Though the TF-IDF metrics used to accept the importance of a word in context, so its rarity in the corpus and frequency in a particular text indicates the correlation of this essential psychotype with the author's vocabulary, the ratio of rare and unique words for the corpus as a whole used by him in the text. The degree of lexical diversity reflects the author's ability to use different words and expressions to convey his thought and ideas, the richness of his vocabulary. The text tone, in turn, can say a lot about the author, his attitude to the topic described in the text, his emotional state and beliefs. Thin speech is mainly dominated by the use in natural, cross-style, commonly used vocabulary. Against its background, one can especially clearly note the characteristic stylistically colored words and expressions characteristics of one or another type of personality. On the slide, you can see the table with the classification result. We used random forest and logistic regression methods. For each method, you can see the precision recall and F1 score metrics. And as you see, the F measure for the logistic regression is quite high, and it's a good result for this classification task. So at the end of our presentation, I want to tell that in our research, we used suicide ideation on Twitter dataset for the identification of formal and informal side. We used logistic regression and random forest classification methods, and these methods showed good results for our dataset. In future, we plan to use LSTM and BERT for the improvement of our results, and also we tried to transfer these methods and features from the English to Ukrainian language. Thank you for your attention, and thank you.